So I thought it would be helpful to go through a list of frequently asked questions that I usually get at my info sessions. So I'll start with the first one, which is, why are you only going through sixth grade at Central Tucson next year? Well, we are starting at a K through 6 school, but that is only for the first year. So I would encourage if you are considering having a sixth grade scholar join us, then what I would say is that is wonderful because your sixth grader will be able to stay with us for the entire middle school years because we will be a K through 8 school by the third year. So if you have an entering sixth grader next year, please join us because they will get to experience the entire middle school program with us. So we will be a K through 6 school only for the 2021 school year. The next question I usually get is, how many scholars are in each class? And all of our classes are capped at 27. And I will say that our kindergarten classes have a teaching assistant in each class. So that ratio is a little bit nicer because we have a ratio that brings it down to closer to 13-1. And that's 27 in each class all the way up through the 8th grade once we get there. The next question is, how do you ensure that my child will be safe on your campus? Well, we have many different measures that we put into place. We have locking gates that are, obviously we can get out of them, but the people can't get in the morning once we lock them at the last bell every day. The principal and the vice principal are outside every morning greeting scholars and welcoming them. We also do that for a couple of reasons. We want to ensure the safety of our campus and that only people who are wearing visitors badges are entering the campus. We have double locking doors, and so when you decide to come to campus to visit, you'll just need to sign in through the front office, and then you will be issued a visitor's badge that you need to wear while you're on campus at all times. So we just always want to ensure the safety of our scholars, and we need to know who is on campus at all times. But just know that parents are welcome, and we do want you on campus. The next question is, what are the school's hours and when can I drop off my child in the morning? So we do open our gates every day at 7:15, and we offer free supervision for all scholars. So we do have a staggered bell schedule, so different scholars will start school at different times throughout that morning period. So some scholars their bell might ring at 7:40, others 7:55. Our latest bell will probably be at 8:10 in the morning, but it doesn't matter when your scholar's bell will ring. All are allowed on campus as early as 7:15. And I would say that the latest release time next year will probably be at about 2:55 p.m. We also offer an after bell program, which is basically a licensed daycare for your child, and it's a very reasonable daycare program as far as the tuition is concerned. It's an hourly fee, and it's prorated, so you literally can pay by the minute. If you're talking about having a child in there for an hour and 5 minutes, they don't charge you for that second hour. They just charge you for literally the 65 minutes. So it's really reasonable, and your scholar will also be able to have some homework time. Obviously, the snack comes first, which is the most important thing. And then it's a structured program, so they might have, say, 30 minutes of recess time, and then they'll go into a classroom where they might choose to participate in a craft, or it's just, it's got a curriculum, so it's a very well-structured and well-run program. The next question I'm usually asked is, what can I expect as far as homework for my child? And that just depends on the age of your scholar. I should say the grade level. So when you're talking about a kindergarten scholar, we're looking at about 10 minutes per night starting off. And then if you multiply the grade level by about 10 minutes, then that gives you a reasonable expectation for homework. So if you're talking about a sixth grader, then they should not have more than 60 minutes of homework per night starting out. It may increase a few minutes throughout the course of that year, but it wouldn't be too much more than that. And the best news of all is that our scholars only have homework from Mondays through Thursday nights. There is no homework assigned on Fridays, so we do keep the weekends family friendly as well as all school breaks. So whether it's spring break, fall break, winter break, rodeo break, there would be no homework or projects assigned. And with that same family friendly mentality in mind, we don't have tests on Monday that scholars would have to study for. The next question is there a dress code, and do we have to buy special uniforms for our children? So we do ask that scholars wear, we do have a dress code. We ask that scholars wear a solid color polo Mondays through Thursdays, and then we have certain color for shorts and pants and skirts and jumpers and things like that. We have those in our dress code that's posted on the website, but they're basically just the neutral colors like khaki, brown, navy blue, black, brown, olive, those types of things, those guidelines for the bottoms for the scholars that they can wear. And then on Fridays, we have Free Dress Fridays. There are also guidelines for what the scholars can wear as far as Free Dress Friday is concerned. But we do have a spirit store for Leman Academy, but you're not obligated at all to wear the Leman Academy polos, although some scholars really do enjoy wearing those, and so it is available, and that's online as well if you do choose to purchase the items through the Spirit store. But honestly, you can buy solid color polos at any of the major department stores. Target has them, Old Navy has them, so we feel like we're pretty friendly as far as the uniform, the dress code is concerned. Here's another good one. How would you help my child if he or she is behind in reading or math or some subject like that? So please keep in mind that we are expecting our scholars, especially all those who are entering at Leman Academy Central Tucson, to not necessarily be at the next grade level in math right away. And so we're anticipating all of these things, and especially with the fact that all of us have just gone through that fourth quarter of distance learning. And so we will be making those adjustments and doing lots and lots of review, and that's just standard anyway. What I love about the Saxon Math program is that while we do operate 1 year ahead in Saxon Math for all of our grade levels, the entire, I would say, first quarter almost is review from the year before. And so we will work very hard to get your scholar up to speed. So we don't want you to have any worries about that. But what I also will say is we will have a full-time reading interventionist on staff, and each and every one of our classroom teachers is required to hold 2 hours of what we call scholar hours per week, and that's meant to just help assist scholars with any sort of like catching up that they might need to do. While it's not private tutoring for your child, it would be more of a small group setting in which the teacher can pull scholars who maybe need some help with fractions 1 week, or for ELA or reading scholar hours, they would just pull a concept. Maybe they would work on grammar one particular Tuesday. So that's 2 hours a week that our teachers are dedicating additionally to your scholar to help them. So just know that. Next would be, how does your school handle discipline? So what I would say to that is that we use logical consequences rather than just assigning like a flat, oh, you lose recess, or oh, you have a lunch detention for some sort of infraction. So we train our teachers on the Leman way and Dr. Leman's philosophies, and it sort of infuses everything that we do. It's how we talk to our scholars. We don't write their names up on the board as an example, because we never want children to feel like they are ashamed based on anything that we, the staff, are doing to them. So we talk to them discreetly. We also tell them that, everyone makes mistakes, but we want you to learn from that mistake. And so one example of a logical consequence might be if you've got a scholar, let's call her Susie, and she's just written in marker on her desk. Well, an illogical consequence would be that she would just have to serve like a lunch detention. Well, instead, at Leman Academy, we would take Susie aside, her teacher would, and say, Susie, I want to talk to you about what you've done. Let's talk about the fact that you've written on your desk. How do you think we're able to keep this campus beautiful if everyone were to write on their desk? How do you think our classroom would look if everyone wrote on their desk? And sort of get her to understand that that was not an okay thing to do. And then we would ask her to help come up with a logical consequence. And hopefully she would get to that consequence of, well, I should probably clean my desk and restore it back to its original condition. And so she might maybe miss a couple of minutes of recess in order to do that, but that would be the difference in how we handle discipline. And obviously, there are lots of other examples we could use, but that's just a very quick illustration there for you. How about this one? How involved can parents be at Leman Academy? Well, I think you can be as involved as you would like. Part of our mission statement talks about the fact that we purpose to partner with supportive parents, and we really do mean that. So we want you to be involved. You are welcome to come in. You're welcome to be on campus. You can eat lunch with your child. You can volunteer in their classroom. So you can be as involved as you would like. Obviously, I'm hoping that we have a very strong and supportive PTO this year so that we can run some wonderful community events that we can all enjoy. And so that sort of answers that question for you. How about this? Can you explain the specials classes that children will attend? So our scholars in 1st through 6th grade and beyond attend a rotating schedule of specials classes that may look like this: art, music, PE. So it's every 3rd day. We have a color-coded schedule that all of our teachers have. It's on this calendar. And so they know that if it's like a green day, then their class might go to music, but another class, a different class, might go to art. So it's not necessarily that every class goes to PE twice a week, but that's mostly the average. But it's just every 3rd day your child will have that particular specials class. How about what are the differences between half-day and full-day kindergarten? So our half-day program runs about 4 hours and it is tuition free, and I think that's the biggest difference. But also just know that all of the state standards are covered in the half-day program. So the difference would be that when the scholars are dismissed from the half-day program, and then the ones that will stay for full day, they will receive all of those specials classes that I just discussed, art, music, and PE, and they do a lot of enrichment activities. So while the scholars in half day might be introduced to an artist and composer of the month, the scholars in the full day program might get to explore it more in depth. And so they'll just take some of the knowledge and discovery and just go a little bit deeper and do a little bit more with that. So there is a tuition associated with the full day program. It runs $300 per month, and then you can pay either by semester and get a 5% discount, and then if you choose to pay for the entire year, you would actually get a 15% discount. And all of that information is on the website as well. What after-school programs do you offer? So we're still gathering those up so that we can offer them when the fall programs begin. But right now we have a Young Rembrandt's art program for different age levels for scholars, so it's not just a K through 6. Same thing for a drama kids program, different grade levels. We have Taekwondo, and we're looking at Beat Drops Kids, which is a really fun dance program. And we'll be adding, I believe we're going to try to get the Brainstem and the Lego Brainstem Club for the scholars as well. And we'll just continue to add programs as we go along over the summer, where we're going to just try to draw from the programs that we had at East Tucson and continue on with those. And another question is usually, how about sports? What sports can my child try out for? So we have 3 different sports seasons at Leman Academy, and we play different charter school and sometimes some private schools as well. So in the fall, we have co-ed flag football and girls volleyball. And then we transition to the winter sports, which are co-ed soccer and then the girls softball. And then in the spring, there's a boys and a girls basketball team. So, and then sometimes there's even A and B teams. So it just depends on the school, but tryouts are part of the sports program at Leman Academy as well. And last but not least, does your campus have a preschool? So we do, although that's not something that's under my purview, but we do have a preschool, and it's right there, right at our campus. It's run by a wonderful director who is also coming over from East Tucson. I do know that you have to be either 3 or 4 years old. There are different classes for 3s and 4s, and you have to be potty trained in order to register. And there are lots and lots of different options for preschool. So you can go as little as 2 half-days per week, or you can go all the way up to 5 full days. So, and that would be obviously more like a daycare option. But all of those fees as well are posted on the website under the preschool. And they have a separate registration. It's basically a separate charter, so to speak. But what I really do like about the preschool is that what we're noticing at my current campus is that those scholars who attended the 4-year-old class last year and that have come up to the kindergarten classes at the campus I work at, they had already started learning the Saxon math program, and so they really are very well prepared for the Leman Academy curriculum. So those are the frequently asked questions for our info sessions. Thanks so much.